Have you ever stood in a grocery store line and glanced at the magazines by the counter, seeing headlines about billionaires buying mega yachts, acquiring islands, or pouring millions into some obscure investment, and you ask yourself, how? How are they doing it? Why does it seem like the rich just keep getting richer, while the rest of us are drowning in bills? If you've ever wondered that, you are not alone. Millions of people silently carry that same question in their minds, feeling frustrated, tired, and stuck. But let me tell you something they won't say on the news or in school. The secret to wealth isn't a secret, it's a strategy, a mindset, system, and anyone, yes, even you can learn it. Today I'm pulling back the curtain. I'll show you exactly how the rich preserve, multiply, and protect their wealth. These are assets they rely on, not by luck, but by calculated design. Let's dive deep into 6 key assets the rich use to stay wealthy, how you can too. Asset number 6, gold and precious metals. The ancient shield of the rich. Let's travel back thousands of years. Imagine the pyramids of Egypt rising proudly under the sun. Picture pharaohs draped in gold, temples lined with treasures. Fast forward to medieval Europe, where kings stored their wealth in gold vaults beneath castles. Gold is not new, it's ancient, it's eternal, and it's powerful. Even today, some of the world's wealthiest minds, Jacob Rothschild, Naguib Soros, continued to hold significant amounts of their wealth in gold. But why? Because gold is resistance. Gold is insurance. When the economy crashes, when banks fail, when the dollar trembles, gold stands still, sometimes even rises. Ray Dalio, the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, once said, "If you don't own gold, you know neither history nor economics." And he's right. When stock markets plummet, currencies devalue, and fear grips the world, people rush to gold just like they have for centuries. Let's not forget the Rothschilds. Their love for gold goes back 200 years, so deeply rooted that they financed entire wars with it. In 2016, they sold off large portions of their US dollar holdings and turned back to gold. They knew something we didn't. They knew history. They knew protection. Gold is not just a shiny metal. It's a fortress. And guess what? You don't need to be a billionaire to start. Whether through physical gold, ETFs, or digital platforms that offer fractional shares, you can begin building your own golden safety net today. Asset number 5, cash. In cash equivalents, the power of quiet wealth. Now, here's something shocking. The rich don't always look rich. They're not always wearing Gucci or riding in Lamborghinis. Sometimes they drive used cars, wear simple jeans, and live in homes without marble fountains. You know why? Because they understand one of the most underrated wealth-building weapons: liquidity. The wealthy often keep large amounts of their wealth in cash or cash equivalents, treasury bills, money market accounts, high-yield certificates, and other low-risk, liquid assets. Why? Because liquidity gives you power. It gives you options when opportunity knocks. It gives you protection when markets crash. Take Warren Buffett. Despite being worth over $100 billion, the man holds billions in treasury bills. He's not hoarding cash for no reason. He's waiting, watching, preparing. Buffett once said, "Cash is for the emergency and the opportunity." What separates wealthy thinkers from everyone else? They're not trying to look rich today. They're setting themselves up to act rich when the moment is right. You don't need millions to start. Even $100 in a money market fund is a better start than $0 in a regular savings account. Learn to respect liquidity, not just wealth. Asset number 4, stocks and stock funds. The game of billionaire kings. Let's talk about what seems like the riskiest move in the game: stocks. We hear stories of people losing everything in the market, and yet, some of the most powerful fortunes ever built were constructed right here on Wall Street. Think of names like John Paulson, who made billions during the 2008 crash; Warren Buffett, the oracle of value investing; Carl Icahn, lobe titans of this financial battlefield. What do they see that most people don't? Here's the truth. Stocks are not gambling when done with wisdom. They build wealth through compound growth, dividends, and ownership. When you buy stock, you're buying a piece of a company, a slice of its future. Billionaires understand this. That's why they hold shares in Apple, Coca-Cola, Tesla, Google, and even startup tech giants before they go public. Berkshire Hathaway. Buffett's empire owns a large stake in BYD China's electric vehicle juggernaut. That's not a guess. It's calculated foresight. You can do it too. Start with index funds. Start with blue chip stocks. Start small, but start smart. Because the earlier you enter the market, the longer time becomes your ally, and time is the ultimate amplifier of wealth. Asset number 3, private equity and hedge funds. The private door to hidden fortunes. Now we enter the hidden world, the gated zone most people never hear about. Private equity, hedge funds. These aren't topics of casual dinner conversation. They're whispered about in executive meetings and boardrooms, but make no mistake, these vehicles are where real wealth multiplies. Private equity is about buying, improving, and flipping entire companies, sometimes small businesses, sometimes giants. Hedge funds, they bet on stocks, currencies, options, and everything in between, with strategies ordinary investors don't have access to, you might say. But I don't have $1 million to join a hedge fund. True, these are often reserved for accredited investors, but that doesn't mean you can't learn from them. Watch how they think, study how they move capital, understand the psychology behind their decisions, because that mindset, that strategic, data-driven, patient approach is something you can adopt, even with $1,000 in your brokerage account. And as your wealth grows, the doors to these elite investments will open, but you must be ready. Asset number 2, real estate, where the silent fortunes are built. Let me ask you a simple question. Where do most millionaires park their wealth? Real estate. Andrew Carnegie once said, 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate, and that truth remains. Look at Donald Brenna's empire spans 129 million square feet. Neil Blum owns luxury hotels, casinos, and malls. Leonard Stern turned pet supplies into industrial real estate worth billions. Why real estate? Because it offers for unbeatable advantages: cash flow, monthly rental income, appreciation, property values rise over time, leverage. You control large assets with small down payments, tax benefits, deductions, action depreciation, 1031 exchanges. Even on a smaller scale, real estate changes lives. One rental property can produce $500 a month, 10 rentals. That's $5,000 passive income. That's freedom. You don't need to be a mogul to start. A small home in a growing neighborhood is enough. Start local. Start smart. But start. Asset number 1, fine art and collectibles, the hidden jewels of the wealthy. Now let's end with something most overlook. Art paintings, sculptures, rare cars, books, watches. Too many. To the wealthy, their investments. Steve Cohen spent over $1 billion on art. Jeff Bezos retrieved space artifacts from the ocean. Michael Dell collects vintage photographs. Why? Because art is tangible, re-emotional, and often appreciates dramatically in value. While stocks crash, a Picasso might double. While currencies collapse, rare Rolex retains worth. While businesses fail, that signed first edition can become priceless. Art is a hedge, a treasure, a legacy. And even if you can't buy a Warhol today, you can begin with something meaningful. Local artists, limited collectibles, historical pieces. The point is to train your eyes to recognize value beyond just money. Final thought, wealth is not a mystery. It's a pattern. Here's the truth most never realize: the wealthy don't chase money. They build systems. They don't buy liabilities. They buy freedom. They don't wait for luck. They prepare for opportunity. You have what it takes. You don't need millions to start, only discipline, strategy, and belief. Start with one asset. Study it. Master it. Then move to the next, because in the end, wealth is not just about money, it's about control. Control over your time, your future, your destiny, and that is something no one can take from you. If you want the full breakdown of each of these strategies step by step, make sure you subscribe, because in the next video, we're diving into real-life case studies on how everyday people built generational wealth using these exact tools. Until then, remember, you're one decision away from a completely different life.